What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're gonna compare the Engl Fireball 100 to the Engl Fireball 25. Let's do it! Alright, hope you guys are doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I typically do is I take all sorts of awesome high gain related guitar equipment, I record it with a simple SM57 setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into E-stand or thrash riffs, drop C hardcore riffs, and dudes whose voices go inexplicably high sometimes, you're in the right place! Consider hitting the like button and subscribing on the way out so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Alright guys, welcome back to Engl Month, and today we are comparing the Fireball 25 to its bigger, older brother, the Fireball 100. Spoiler alert, they both win. I have made it no secret that the Fireball 100 is my favorite amp in the Engl lineup, and I also have made it no secret that I think that the Fireball 25 lives up to the Fireball 100 in pretty much every way. I was really excited to compare these two amplifiers for you guys. Number one, because you guys asked me to do it, and number two, because it's been a while since I've sat them side by side, and there are actually some pretty noticeable differences here in the room, and I'm wondering how much of that you guys are gonna be able to pick up on. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this comparison. This is gonna be a little shorter video than normal. We're not gonna go crazy with the Fireball 25. The only features that you're missing that the Fireball 100 has are the bright and bottom switches and the second master volume. And besides that, I mean, they pretty much are the same shot for shot. They've got the same controls across the front. They both got the noise gate. They both have an effects loop. So with that being said, for today's demo, I am currently using my Balaguer Typhon with the Duncan distortion in the bridge. Both of these amps are hooked up to my Radial Headbone VT amp switcher, so that means I can switch between both amps on the same cab, so you're hearing both amps through the same speaker, same microphone. So when I switch between the two, the only differences you are hearing are the differences between the amp and nothing else. No other factors come into play. We are on my Engl 412 straight cab here with the vintage 30s loaded up, SM57 on that V30 as I mentioned. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So for the intro clip, I tried to get the amps as close as I could, but they're not identical for sure. And I'm pretty sure that you guys probably have picked out differences already. If you have, let me know what you think that they are down in the comments. As far as what I heard, the Engl 25, the Fireball 25, has a little bit less saturation in the gain. The gain structure is maybe a tad bit crunchier, a tad bit raspier, and has a little bit more mid push, I would say. The mids are a little bit more forward and a little bit more round, whereas with the Fireball 100, it's got a little bit more saturation. It does have a tad bit more of a low end push, like the low end frequencies are just broadened a little bit. I don't know what this is, but yeah, the low end frequencies are slightly broader, a little bit more punchy, and the mids, I would say there's a little bit more of an upper mid spike, which I personally like, but in general, overall, the mids are dialed back just a tad on the 100. But yeah, let's go ahead and hear those again. I am actually boosting them with the Electric Eye Mud Killer boost. I'm gonna turn that boost off. And here's what we have between the two heads, no boost. Like I said, immediately noticeable is how much more mid-forward the 25 is. I tried for probably 10 minutes before I started this video to get these things as close as I possibly could. This is as close as I could get them. I mean, maybe turning the mid boost off on the Fireball 25. No, because when you do that, then the Fireball 100 is much more mid-forward. What happens if we bump everything back to noon? Let's just see the differences at noon. For the Fireball 25, I know that that one is really balanced with everything at noon. I'm gonna leave the gains where they're at. So I'm gonna guess that the presence pot value between the two amps is very, very different because I had to have it pushed up quite a bit on the 100 to get the presence that I wanted. Whereas with the 25, I feel like the amp is really, really balanced with everything at noon. So let's push that presence up to 7 on the 100. So yeah, with everything at noon, the 25 is just much brighter, much more forward, much more cutting. I'm gonna assume it's down to the differences in pot values, but it's like incredibly noticeable. It's very, very noticeable. Let's go ahead and pull the mids and the treble up. One thing I definitely notice about the 100 over the 25 is there seems to be a little bit more sweep in the treble, whereas dialing the treble all the way up doesn't make things quite as bright as you would think on the 25, but on the 100, if you dial the treble all the way up, it gets really, really bright. All right, so I have them sounding pretty similar as of right now, so here is a riff between the two. So yeah, same differences kind of still apply. More mid-forward in the 25. The 100 seems to be a little bit more saturated. It's a little easier to play, if we're being honest, from a standpoint of the right hand. You definitely don't have to work as hard. Let's check out the gain range between the two. Let's dial them both back to 9 o'clock. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty close, but overall, I just feel like the 100 has a little bit more compression and a little bit more of that saturation that I'm used to playing, like 5150s and dual rectifiers. This one's a little bit crunchier, a little bit raspier. This one is just a little bit more saturated and fluid in the gain structure. But yeah, I gotta admit, the differences are more noticeable than I was originally remembering. I thought that they were super, super close, but in dialing them both in here, I feel that they're not quite as close as I remembered. Not that one is worse than the other. I personally prefer this one for the reasons I mentioned, but the Fireball 25, like, I'm always happy when I plug into that thing. So I personally really dig both of them. They're just, the differences are a little bit more pronounced than I remember. That's all. All right, so let's see how both react to a TS9 Tube Screamer. All right, they both take an overdrive extremely well. What's interesting though is with the TS9 in front, now I kind of feel like the 100 has a little bit more of a mid-aggression thing going on. The Fireball 25 to me sounds a little bit meaner. Like it's got a little bit more low mid grunt. When I switch between the two, I think that I like the Fireball 100 more until I play the 25, and then I'm like, kind of like the voicing of the 25 more. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm gonna grab a guitar with active pickups to see how this reacts to active pickups, and we're gonna tune down to drop C, and then we're gonna call it a day after that. But yeah, this is fun for me. Hope it's fun for you. Both amps rule. I love my job. All right, guys, so I have my Happy Cable Company cable plugged into my LTD black metal with the Fluff Ryan Bruce Fishman signature pickup. I said all of that out of order. We are on the active pickup setting. I've touched nothing. I'm going to turn the overdrive off. All right, so with the Fishman Fluence pickup going into both amps, now I'm kind of liking the Fireball 100 more. It seems a little bit more like open in the mids, whereas the Fireball 25 seems slightly more congested. Man, different parts of the riff I like better. I don't know, man. This is tough. They both sound good. That's all that matters. I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. I'm going to turn on a boost one more time. Instead of the TS9, we're going to turn on the MXR M77 Overdrive. Bumping the bass frequency on both amps and pressing the bottom end, they're still pretty even in the low end. So here we go. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me today on the Engl Fireball 25 versus the Engl Fireball 100. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. I think I've made it pretty clear that I am super unclear on which one I prefer. It really depends on the riff. It depends on the guitar and the overdrive, like most things when it comes to amplifiers and differences and stuff like that. It's really situationally dependent. I love both. I think they're both fantastic amplifiers. Some of my absolute favorites when it comes to the high gain world. Would be happy to play either of these, but now I want to hear from you. So leave your thoughts down below in the comments. And if you would like to purchase either of these amplifiers and you want to do your old boy Kyle here a favor, make sure you hit that Sweetwater affiliate link. Pick them up from the fine folks at Sweetwater, because not only will you get the best customer service in the business, but I'll get a little bit of a kickback, and it greatly helps the channel. It helps me do things like Engl Month, because pretty much everything on the channel Engl related is funded by myself. So I would greatly appreciate it. That's gonna do it for me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.